Welcome back to the Transform Your Mind to Transform Your Life, the podcast. You're listening to Author's Corner, where we highlight and showcase our local authors. Today, I'm speaking to Emmanuel Waul, author of My Unfortunate Love Story.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel and I are going to be talking on the topic, can young love survive growing up through it? I am interested to hear Emmanuel's take on this because, in my experience, it normally does not. So, welcome, Emmanuel.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me, Myrna. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Well, let me give you guys a brief introduction via a book summary so you can get a feel for what the book is about. Letitia Jackson never thought she'll see Trevor Graham again. Now, years later, fate throws them back into each other's lives, and the connection between them is undeniable. But so is the distance that time and life has put between them. As they try to rekindle what once was, Letitia and Trevor must face the reality that the people they've become may not fit together the way they once did. Old sparks fly, but so do new doubts. Can young love survive grown up truth? Or are there some chapters better left closed? Love it, love it, love it.
Thank
I
you.
definitely, like I said in the intro, I definitely want to hear your answer to this. So,
Yeah.
as I start off, I want to start off with the question that you posed at the
Mhm.
end of the book summary. And that is, can young love survive grown up truth? What is your feelings about that and how do you handle that in your book?
Well, what my story is, I just wanted people to get like a different look on on the word love because w love is something that none of us humans can master, and we try our whole life trying to master it. So, especially at a young age. So I try to give a little message to the younger people, like, hey, like, don't move too fast, get to know this person. Time is our best friend when we get older. So, um, and as we get older with the person, you start to become the person. So, and we forget who we are as individuals. So, especially at a younger age, we just naturally fuse to that. But yeah, I'll say I want the younger people to like keep in mind when they, out and about, you know.
Okay. So you didn't answer the question. Do you think
Oh, okay.
that the person that you're in love with, let's say when you're under 21,
Yeah.
can you be in love with that person when you're 30?
Yeah.
You think so?
Oh, um, well, yes, I feel like it still can, stay preserved, but it takes time and effort just like anything else. Like I said, like when you're growing with a person, you really become that person, and that's where you got to remind yourself of where you started. So I believe like love can really grow and exist, but it takes two to tango. It's not
Okay.
just one person, but I believe so. Yes, there is hope
Okay.
for the future. Yes.
Well, the reason I start off with that is because in my experience, now I'm not sure if it's an old wives' tale or there's some scientific background on this, but a lot of people, not a lot of people, a few people
Yeah.
fall in love in high school. Or
Yeah.
sometimes you would say that, they were boyfriend and girlfriend since middle school or something.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then, so they're in their teenage years, under
Yeah.
21. And then they go on and get married.
Yeah.
And what they find is I'm not attracted to this person anymore
Yes.
because, like
Yes.
you
It happens
said,
a lot.
you've grown into a different person
Yeah.
and your attraction level is different.
Yeah.
So that's what I was talking about.
Yes. Yes. I definitely agree with that. With that in particular, like that's a part of what I meant to say is like, yes, you do grow. Like you forget like you are two individuals in the pod. So like a lot of the times like we don't know, we try to identify ourselves with the person and it's not fair to the other person, and sometimes it could be missed messages with each other. So I would say that when it comes around that time, it really takes communication and
Okay.
and really really communication because we go through different men and women, we go through different stages in our lives as we're going through life together. So I feel like communication when it comes to that part of the relationship you guys growing, I feel like that's where it comes in like the most, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Okay, all right. So your book is about rekindling past love. What is the message in your book? Is the message that we should never rekindle past love, or we should never go back, or we
Yeah.
should try to there's a our old wife saying that says, "Old firewood burns hot."
Yeah. 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 You
So,
know, yeah.
what is the
Yeah.
message in your book on
Yes.
that?
Yes, I feel like you hit it right on the money with that. You know, they call our exes for a reason. It's not a circle. They call our exes. So that's why and a lot of us is guilty to that, to going back to a situation that's never been good for us. Or we try to feel like, oh, maybe we can make this change. And like I'm guilty of that myself. So I'm not sitting here and saying and this book is a reminder of everybody, boys, girls, grown-ups, anybody, any gender, is to remind yourself to never go back to a situation that really was bringing you down, you know. And a lot of us, a lot of females that I talked to throughout my life, that was a lot of their situations, and that's where a lot of inspiration came from about writing about Letitia. And like, you know, I heard multitude of stories of different women and how they went back to a situation that wasn't good for them. And you know, I wanted to like let you know the younger like the young generation of women growing up to let them know like, hey, let go of that, you know, toxic stuff. Maybe I had to put it in the entertainment type of form, but I just hope like, you know, get the
Okay.
message.
Okay. All right. So that's the message. And that's something that I have, that me personally have lived by. They're
Yeah.
saying don't go back, because your reason that people go back is because a lot of times I'm going to talk about the women first and talk about the men second. Women go back because they left this guy because he wasn't, measuring up. And then they
Mm.
go out there and they try to find somebody better. And then when they don't find anyone better, then they decide to go back. But you're correct. If
Yeah.
you're going back to the same thing, that person hasn't changed, and
Yeah.
you're just going back for more headaches. But that's the women. Now, the men, in my experience, they leave good stuff and go because they're not ready to settle down yet, right? They're saying,
Yeah.
okay, no, I'm not ready to settle down yet. I'm going to keep playing the field, and I'm going to go out there. And a lot of them have left some really good women in the
Yeah.
past, and then
Yeah.
they try to go back and maybe she's no longer available. So, is
Yeah.
that what you see?
That situation, both situations happen a lot, you know, and with the men part, that's why I wrote Trevor the way I wrote Trevor is to like show that part like of us, we need to do better too as men and really like just like get to like an understanding with your partner because it's a marathon, it's not a race when it comes to living life with another person. So and us guys, yes, we have a very different way of, you know, looking at things, especially in a relationship. And we tend to like take our same tactics the way we live through our life with a female, and a female is not that. You know, a female, you got to really change your mindset, like
Mhm.
when you're dealing with your partner. And us men, I feel like, you know, we definitely need to get back to that a little bit more. You know, so definitely agree with you on that.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So yeah, you're talking about, yeah, this is not just how Letitia feels, but how Trevor feels as well. So I'm glad that you're bringing in both perspectives on it. All
Yes.
right. So, um, let's say that someone is listening right now after a breakup.
Mhm.
They broke up with this guy or they broke up with this girl and they're considering going back, right?
Yeah.
What's one real truth from Letitia's story you hope that they take away? without giving away the end of the book, but
Yeah, I would
how do you frame it there?
yeah, I would say like if you read the book, you know, and if you see Letitia journey from the first few chapters, you see after the fallout, she starts to pick back her life, or she starts to figure things out for her life, and like as she's trying to figure things out, you know, boom, Trevor came back, and that kind of derailed everything she was building.
Mm,
So I would say like, you know, if anybody going through like a situation like that, a heartbreak or anything, I feel like time is your best friend. You know, you can't fast forward time and be like, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be happy. That's not how it goes. Time is really your best friend when it comes to like a wounded heart. And I wish Letitia took that time, you know, but she still if you gotta read the story to really
right, right,
see, you
right. Of
know.
course, that's what I said without giving away the
Yes,
story.
yes, yes.
But yeah, so all right. So the lesson was is if you're going through a bad breakup, take your time.
Yes,
Don't
time. I feel
go
like
by it
that's the
with your
only
emotions.
yeah.
Right.
I feel like that's the only answer to like a bad break is time. You know, time. I feel like when we're growing up, we don't appreciate time, and I feel like when we get to a certain age, we start to realize how important time is and how much it heals a wounded a wounded heart, a wounded, you know, cut or anything internal. And, you know, we could always put band-aids and everything on our outside external, but we can never fix the internal scars in us. So only time could fix that. Mhm.
Okay, that is very true. I like that. Very good.
Thank
All
you.
right, so let's talk about young love, right? Be honest,
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah. I'm here because I'm here. I'm here.
That's right, that's right. Our first love is also called puppy love. That's, when I was growing
Yeah.
up, they call, puppy love your first
Yeah. Young
love when you're
love. Yeah.
not even a high school, maybe middle school or something,
Yeah.
right? Um, how do you tackle, so the question is, do you think that puppy love, first love is real love? And how do you address this in your book?
Yes, I'm a firm believer. I seen it with my own eyes. I seen like people I personally know was together in high school and now they're married and kids and stuff. So I seen it, but I seen what it takes at the same time. It's not easy. They went it's a lot of work and that really taught me like, oh, love still lives. Love's still alive. But it's not the same way how we think about like it's not like the movies because we always perceive love's how we watch the movies and we think that's how love's supposed to be, and we don't really like bring ourselves to the surface level of like getting to know like a human person. Like you know, we forget the human aspect of it. Like this person been alive for 20 something years. You're not gonna know that person in a year. You need time. Time is the only thing that could
Okay.
adjust that.
All right. So I like your answer to that. You do think that first love is real love. It's actually quite intense. You're very
It's
right. I
intense,
mean,
definitely.
there
I agree.
it is the most intense feeling, right?
Yeah,
But they say that it normally dies because it's so intense, right?
I,
But you're
yeah,
saying that you've seen people that once they get to know the person and not maybe just fantasizing about being in love, when
yes,
they get to know that person and understand that person, that the relationship is can survive, which is
yes.
good, right?
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree with that. You know, if you read the story, it has that real love aspect to it that you know you could really take notes from. You know, it's a lot of like you know different perspective. I took notes from different women that I met throughout my life, and they told me like how this made them feel, how that made them feel, and sometimes they even told me sometimes your first love could be your last love because sometimes somebody could just that high school heartbreak might last forever, and I never want that for anybody,
Right. Yes, yes. Well, I hope so, right? Because what you're telling me almost every time we have an interaction is about time healing our wounds.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
right that I know a few men that have been hurt when they're younger, and
Yeah.
they've put an armor in front of them because they don't want to be hurt anymore.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
I see what you're saying about, yeah, that heartbreak has made you cautious and you never really open yourself up to love. That's really a big statement right there.
Yeah, I seen it with close friends of mine. It's like, they tell me like this one person did their heart and they never really looked at the relationship the same after that. And I felt like, I get it. I've been there too, but I never was like, oh, the next person, not me. I felt that's not fair because there's amazing women
Yeah.
on this earth that could really cater to your needs. You just got to find the key to the lock. So,
Well, yeah, well, trust is broken. And now
yeah,
you guard your heart. And if you guard your heart, then it's not going to open up like a flower. So that's one of the big things I'm going to take away from our conversation because it's very, very true. Right?
yeah,
And even when you go into another relationship, maybe time, maybe your heart was broken by this person in high school,
yeah,
and you do decide to get married, you never really get back to that intensity because you're
yeah,
guarded, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it does. Like, and you try to like, you're doing all these amazing things in life. You got your degree, your job, but you still have that high school, and you could see it on the person. And I'm like, you are such a successful person, and you're still holding on to that. Sometimes I feel like it could be a pro and con. It could be fuel to the fire, but it's not fuel to the soul.
No, no. And it's not, there's never anything good about it. Yeah. In order to love, you've got to love with abandon. And
Yeah,
they say it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. So
yeah,
that's the mindset shift that you have to give. But if you're going to be
yeah,
guarded and you're not going to let your guard down and you're not going to trust, you're never going to get to that heights. Maybe you might get married and just like the person, but you're not going to get to the love
yeah.
part of it.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. I
Right.
see a lot of that too. Like, they just with a person because it's convenient or something for
Yes.
them. It's
Right.
like that's
Right.
not how it should be.
No.
And I guess like I've seen a lot in my life. I'm 31, but I've seen a lot. So it's like I listen more than I talk. So um I've seen miserable people marry, and then that taught me a lot of like, hey, like this is not what I want, basically.
Mhm. Okay.
And it helped me out with writing and stuff.
Okay. So this book, it's called My Unfortunate Love Story. It's saying my unfortunate love story. But whose unfortunate love story is it? Is it Letitia's or is it Trevor? Is it yours?
Letitia.
Whose story is it?
It's more Letitia, but I did add elements. I felt like a piece of me is a Letitia. Um, I could relate to her a lot. But I wanted more of a feminine approach to my story. And but yeah, I feel like I could there's a lot of elements to me and Letitia, but it's a Letitia story.
It's a
Yes.
Letitia story. All right. So tell us about your book. Why did you write it? What do you hope readers to walk away with after reading? What is the message really in the book?
Well, the message behind reading the book is to like really take your time to know somebody because you never know who that person is down the line. So if you read the book, it's going to teach you like how to respect yourself too, just not to like fall for any thing that looks shiny. Everything that glitter ain't gold. So it's like I want pe- I want people to walk away with that like wow, like I never really thought or look at that situation or see or read a similar situation in the book and relate it back to their life and be like, oh wow, like I did that and I didn't realize that was me. So yeah, I want people to really take away and really get to know somebody because, like I said, down the line, you don't know who that person is or what their agenda is down the line. Because a lot of people have agendas in
Yeah.
relationships, and you find out at the wrong time, like, oh, this is what this is what it was, and this is so. Yes, and take your time to really know your person too, and don't go back to like anything that anything that's not good for you, you know. So
Okay.
it's a lot of different elements, a lot of different, but that's the main thing I want people to walk away with.
So what is your take on love? Is it real? Is it good? Do people should be in love? What's the story in
I feel
love?
like people think love is like my take on love. Love is a choice. Love
True.
is
It's
it's
true.
a choice. It's like you. It's not a feeling. It's not. Yes, it's a feeling you feel towards this person, but it's a choice. Like I'm going to just like how you people love to shop or love to do the love is a choice, and we try to relate it to, and we try to like control it too much and not let it be. You know, us as people, we try to control everything that we can't control, and especially when it comes to love, that's something we humans, we anybody, we cannot control love. You just gotta let it flow and let it run it course by itself. But even me, I feel like we all get into that, that mindset of we try to like predict how somebody's supposed to feel in this situation, or how you're or what you're supposed to do in this situation. It's just like love is not a script, it's not a movie. It's really like I choose to have this person in my life, and I want to build with this person in my life. And if you see the same qualities match for each other, you both want marriage, you both want kids, you both want, you know, I feel like that it's a choice. You got to really think it out. It's not like, oh, this person look good because they look, So I feel like that's a my because I mean I grew up too. When I was younger, I went through different phases of love. I thought it was more physical, but it's as I got older, it's more mental, So,
Mhm.
um, and woman is like a emotional flower. You can't, you got to really know how to approach a woman, and yes, so that's my really take on love, really.
Okay.
Jackson.
Well, when my pastor told me that a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago, that love is a choice. And he said that because he was saying, me and my wife have really nothing in common. But we choose to love each other,
Yes,
we choose to love each other. I choose to love her, because he's a pastor, he's going with the biblical love and the type of thing. But
yes, yes, yes.
our people, especially, always feels that love is an emotion.
Yes, that's
Feel
true.
about something, which is why we have so much divorce and so much unhappiness
Yeah,
because one, that feeling doesn't last,
it
keep
don't.
it in
Yeah,
a year.
that's a
The
fact.
feeling doesn't last, number one. And you keep saying all the time, you got to get to know the person because what you love might be a figment of your imagination
Exactly.
and it's
Yeah,
not the real person. So yeah, I love what yep, I'm agreeing with you 100%
yeah.
that it is a choice. Hopefully it
Definitely.
comes with some emotion,
It
but
does. Like everything else in life, it does. Like you could do anything. You could watch TV and you're gonna feel some type of emotion about the show. So it's like we're
yeah,
humans, so we're gonna
right,
feel
right.
something. But yes, it's a choice at
It's
the
a
end of the day.
choice.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. All right. So listen, you've got me curious about your love story and your unfortunate love story
Yes,
and
yes.
Letitia and
The
and
crazy
Trevor
stuff.
and trying to rekindle what once was and
Yeah, yeah.
can it survive, their growing up truth? Because obviously they're two different people now with,
Yes.
things that have happened to them and their personalities and their circumstances are the same, are different. But
Hmm.
you're trying to say is, can that old feeling,
Yes. People say that
can
whole
that
thing.
old feeling
Yeah.
be rekindled? And should it be rekindled? Because
Yeah.
now they're two different people. I like it. It's a good story, and
Yes.
and you're obviously trying to leave some messages for the younger people
Yes.
about navigating love and navigating relationships, and I like it. So that's good.
Yes.
So you guys heard this author. tell you that he's trying to help you with this story about Letitia and Trevor and navigating life and relationships and love. And if there's one thing that you hopefully you take away from this, because I was shocked when I heard it that love is a choice, it's not a feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so
Yeah.
all right, so tell us where they can pick up a copy of your book, your social media handles if you're in social media, if you have a
Yes.
website.
Yes. So you can pick up my book on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon. Just type in My Unfortunate Love Story, and you should see the book pop up. And my Instagram is Manny Waul, MANNYWAUL, and you should see my name pop up. So that's my IG, and I'm telling you guys, this book is it has so many different elements. It has thriller, it has romance, it has a little bit of sci-fi, it has a little it has so many different elements. So so you guys can really enjoy the book, enjoy the reads, and yes, I'm definitely excited for you guys to check it out.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good read. Hey, love
Yes.
story in different forms is not one of my favorite authors when I was growing up is like the Harlequin romances and stuff like that, which is all mush.
Okay.
Doesn't teach you
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It doesn't teach you
I
anything. It's
like
all
those.
mush.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all about love as a feeling, looking at some guy and falling in love with him, and you don't
Yes,
even know
yes,
him and all that stuff. So it's great that you write a love story that shows all the depth and the elements of relationship
yes.
and love. So good
I
for
want
you.
it to be a little more raw, a little more realistic, and just have a different perspective on love. I feel like we read and we watch a lot of different perceptions of love, and I feel like I wanted to give my take on it, and show people like what my lessons from it, and
Yeah,
share like
it's very
that.
good. It's very good. It's very good for the Black community as well.
Yes,
Because we
that's the main
struggle with
thing.
that.
It's funny you said that. Like a person asked me why. I'm like mainly because for the younger black kids like myself, I want them to see like, hey, you see a guy that look like you, and
Yeah,
I like hip hop. I like same things like we do, but
right.
I'm also a scholar. I'm very educated. I'm very into like literature. So I want to show kids like, hey, okay, he's pretty cool and he read books and write. So
Yeah.
let's
Good.
follow this guy. You
Hey,
know?
be a role model. Hey, there's nothing wrong
I'm
with that. It's
I'm trying.
beautiful.
I'm trying.
And I'm appreciative of being able to share your story and introduce you to my
Yeah.
audience.
No, I definitely appreciate it. I feel like you really reached out and gave me a platform to really speak and talk about my book. This is something I'm always gonna forever remember. And after this I'm probably gonna be smiling, jumping up and down, like and
Well,
I
yeah,
just
I'm glad to help. I'm glad to
yeah
help. I'm glad to
yeah
showcase you. So this is
yeah
good. Yes.
yeah no, I'm definitely appreciate it. I'm just trying to like stay contain my emotions, but I'm very excited and that very appreciative. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah.
I love what I do, and I love giving a voice to, my authors, which is why I
Yeah.
created this authors corner segment. So
Yeah.
amazing. All right, guys. Well, go pick up a copy of Emmanuel or Manny Wall's book. It shouldn't be very hard to find. It's called My Unfortunate Love Story,
Yes.
and it's a good read. And if you're young and or even older, and you want to understand some of the newest nuances and intricacy of love and or going back to a partner that you broke up with, it's a good read, some good insights. Like he said, he's done some research and he's giving you some good information. So sounds like a good book.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I will have a summary of my conversation with Emmanuel on the show page, which is myhelps.us. I will link out to his book. I would also post a marketing clip to
Thank,
Instagram and tag him on there. So if you want to follow him, like he
thank
said, he's a great role model for, young, people, whether black or white. So go
you.
ahead and follow him and learn from his what he's putting forward into the world, and pick up something that maybe you didn't know about love. All
Yeah.
right.
Right. But thank you, Marta. I appreciate it. You're the best.
You're very welcome. All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Author's Corner. Until next time, namaste.
Yes, yes.